February 18th, 2001. Foxstone Park, Vienna, Virginia. An FBI surveillance team observes a man approach a wooden footbridge at 8:45 in the evening. He places a sealed garbage bag beneath the railing and departs. Analysts cross-reference encrypted Russian communications intercepted that day, traffic referencing a package at the same location. Archived logs confirm Moscow Center had not used that site in over a decade. Internal memoranda, written that night, record a single, unresolved issue. How had an employee with 22 years of classified access operated undetected inside the Bureau's most secure divisions? 1979. FBI New York Field Office. Fluorescent lighting illuminates rows of metal filing cabinets containing counterintelligence case files. Robert Philip Hanssen begins his FBI counterintelligence career during a period when United States agencies are recovering from intelligence failures exposed in the 1970s Church Committee investigations. Personnel screening protocols emphasize initial background checks but lack continuous monitoring, regular financial audits, or automated access logs. The institutional assumption holds that cleared personnel who pass vetting present minimal ongoing security risk. Counterintelligence budget allocations remain comparatively low as resources shift toward addressing congressional oversight requirements. Archived Soviet and GRU documents recovered after 1991 confirm that Hanssen initiated voluntary contact with Soviet military intelligence early in his FBI career. The approach involved no coercion, no recruitment operation, and no prior foreign intelligence contact. Soviet files indicate he offered classified information on FBI surveillance practices and active counterintelligence investigations. His initial communication contained sufficient operational detail to establish source credibility. Technology at the time consists of paper filing systems and manual document logs maintained inconsistently across field offices. The absence of computerized tracking means document access patterns remain invisible to security oversight. Retrospective FBI audits identify unauthorized document retrievals during this period, though these anomalies drew no attention when they occurred. Early intelligence losses later correlate chronologically with Hanssen's access timeline. His initial transfers include information on FBI recruitment operations targeting Soviet officials, technical surveillance equipment specifications, and summaries of ongoing investigations into suspected Soviet intelligence officers under diplomatic cover. The intelligence quality validates his access level in GRU operational assessments. The late 1970s operational environment favors insider activity. The FBI undergoes leadership transitions and counterintelligence reorganization while implementing new congressional oversight procedures. The GRU manages initial contacts cautiously with extended validation protocols. Early exchanges occur through dead drops in the New York metropolitan area, using established tradecraft, minimizing direct contact. Payments are delivered via cash through separate dead drop locations, maintaining operational compartmentation. Later audits documented this access pattern had no connection to authorized case assignments. 1981 through 1985. FBI Headquarters, Washington, D.C. Classified briefing folders with color-coded security markings cover desks throughout National Security Division offices. Hanssen rotates through assignments providing increasing access to counterintelligence procedures, surveillance protocols, and technical collection programs. His official duties create legitimate justification for reviewing materials across multiple operational categories and classification compartments. Assignment responsibilities include coordinating counterintelligence operations between FBI field offices and maintaining liaison relationships with CIA and NSA personnel. Analytical work requirements provide authorized access to intelligence reporting, active case files, and technical program documentation spanning the intelligence community. Internal security procedures fail to scale with expanding access requirements. The prevailing institutional assumption maintains that personnel who successfully complete initial clearance vetting remain trustworthy throughout their careers. Polygraph examinations occur during initial processing but are not administered on regular recurring schedules for most cleared personnel. Financial disclosure requirements exist in policy but lack rigorous independent audit verification. Security resources concentrate on external threats, physical facility protection, and communications security, rather than continuous monitoring of cleared personnel activities. Organizational culture emphasizes colleague trust based on shared security clearance status. Post-arrest investigations reveal multiple document retrievals during this period lacked connection to open investigative cases. Hanssen accessed classified files outside his immediate operational responsibilities, activity that should have triggered supervisory review under existing protocols. Soviet intelligence archives recovered after 1991 contain detailed United States operational information from this time frame attributed to an unnamed FBI source. The intelligence precision, including specific agent names, operational dates, and procedural methods, indicates access to current, highly classified materials rather than historical summaries. Documents recovered from former Soviet files demonstrate Hanssen provided comprehensive operational briefings on FBI counterintelligence activities, including personnel identities, technical capabilities, and standardized procedures across different operation types. The strategic context amplifies intelligence value during the early 1980s. The Reagan administration substantially increases defense spending while expanding intelligence collection programs and pursuing more aggressive Cold War policies. New technologies enter operational service, including advanced signals intelligence satellites, improved encryption systems, and enhanced interagency counterintelligence coordination. Materials reviewed after 2001 indicate Hanssen accessed briefing materials on these emerging systems, providing Moscow Center insight into United States technical capabilities and intelligence collection priorities. The FBI organizational structure creates additional security vulnerabilities. Counterintelligence units operate with substantial operational autonomy, while compartmentalization security rules prevent pattern identification across multiple classification compartments. No single oversight office maintains comprehensive visibility into personnel access patterns spanning the entire counterintelligence enterprise. Archived security reviews documented no explanation for observed cross-compartment access patterns during this operational period. Mid-1980s, multiple Virginia and Maryland locations. Winter afternoon light filters through bare deciduous trees at public parks along Northern Virginia commuter corridors. GRU operational retrieval logs obtained after 1991 document successful classified material exchanges. Compromised items include lists identifying United States intelligence assets operating inside the Soviet Union, technical surveillance equipment manuals, and operational directive documents. Dead drop location selection follows established Soviet intelligence tradecraft protocols, accessible public parks, forested areas adjacent to major transportation routes, and sites offering natural visual concealment with multiple approach and departure options, enabling counter-surveillance. United States intelligence source losses inside the Soviet Union begin correlating chronologically with Hanssen's operational access timeline. Soviet counterintelligence organs arrest at least 3 individuals who had been providing classified information to United States intelligence services. Arrest timing occurs within months, following Hanssen's delivery of materials identifying these specific sources. Declassified Department of Justice damage assessments confirm compromised timing correlates precisely with Hanssen's file access, documenting source identities and operational details. The speed and targeting accuracy of Soviet arrests contradicts prior United States intelligence community assessments regarding Soviet counterintelligence detection capabilities and methodologies. Operational tempo increases throughout the mid-1980s period. Hanssen conducts multiple dead drop operations annually, each delivery containing classified documents, computer-generated printouts, and handwritten analytical notes. Compensation arrives through parallel dead drop arrangements, delivering cash payments at specified separate locations. Financial transaction structures avoid detection. Hanssen makes no large asset purchases, deposits no unusual banking amounts, and maintains lifestyle consistent with standard FBI salary compensation. Technical surveillance manuals compromised during this period include operational equipment specifications. Documents later indicated these materials described electronic intercept frequency parameters, photographic surveillance methodologies, and procedures for conducting covert facility entry operations. Soviet intelligence services used this technical information to implement upgraded security countermeasures at diplomatic facilities and modify intelligence officer operational security protocols. FBI counterintelligence operational effectiveness against Soviet targets declines measurably during the mid-1980s. Internal FBI operational memoranda from this period document increasing operational difficulty and frustration regarding apparently sophisticated Soviet counter-surveillance capabilities. At the time, analysts attributed declining collection effectiveness to improved Soviet security awareness and enhanced officer training, rather than identifying potential insider compromise as the causal factor. This performance decline pattern did not match any previously documented operational trend or expected intelligence cycle variation. Late 1980s, FBI National Security Division. Secure reading rooms with cipher-lock door controls restrict access to the most sensitive, special compartmented information facilities. Hanssen gains access to materials describing nuclear war planning, emergency governance protocols, and strategic military alert structures. His official assignment duties provide legitimate operational justification for reviewing documentation on nuclear force readiness levels and strategic command pathways. These classified files represent some of the highest classification categories maintained within United States government security systems. Access to even summarized versions requires specialized security clearances beyond standard top-secret level and documented operational need justification. Department of Justice damage assessment reports produced after 2001 confirm these nuclear planning files were included in materials Hanssen transferred to Soviet and Russian intelligence services. Russian intelligence documents reference enhanced analytical insight into United States nuclear doctrine without identifying the specific intelligence source. Materials reviewed after 2001 indicate the operational intelligence value extended beyond immediate tactical information. It provided Moscow Center strategic understanding of United States nuclear command and control architectural frameworks. Specific documented compromises include classified information describing continuity of government emergency plans, detailing constitutional authority transfer procedures following decapitation attacks against national leadership. Documents later indicated these compromised plans identified protected emergency facility locations, secure communication system specifications, and designated official succession protocols under various attack scenarios. Hanssen also accessed classified materials describing early warning detection systems designed to identify Soviet intercontinental ballistic missile launches. Assessments concluded these documents explained technical operational characteristics of orbiting satellite systems and ground-based phased array radar installations, processing timeline requirements for threat assessment validation, and decision-making procedural requirements for authorizing potential retaliatory strikes. Intelligence compromise allows Soviet strategic military planners to evaluate potential vulnerabilities in United States strategic warning detection capabilities. Technical characteristics included operational parameters. Soviet planners could analyze when developing potential countermeasure strategies or evaluating attack scenario feasibility. The institutional policy context during the late 1980s proves significant for understanding intelligence impact. The United States and Soviet Union engage in substantive arms control negotiations, eventually producing the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, signed in December 1987. Intelligence regarding United States nuclear command structures provides Soviet diplomatic negotiators insight into American strategic military thinking and potential negotiating position constraints. Simultaneously, Soviet military strategic planners utilize compromised intelligence to refine war planning assumptions and priority target selection protocols. Continuity of government material compromise proves particularly damaging. These emergency plans are specifically designed to ensure constitutional governance continuation even following catastrophic nuclear attacks on Washington. Later official assessments concluded this specific intelligence compromise directly undermines structural resilience of United States governance systems under crisis scenarios. 1987 through 1990. Technical Operations Unit Archives, Washington, D.C. Floor-to-ceiling shelving units contain operational manuals and classified technical specifications in secure storage facilities. Hanssen reviews classified specifications describing surveillance equipment, secure communications protocols, and encryption system architectures. Materials reviewed after 2001 indicate accessible technical details, included operational parameters for intelligence collection procedures. Reviewed materials describe the operational spectrum of FBI technical collection capabilities, including audio surveillance devices, video recording systems, and signals intelligence collection platforms. These technical documents represent accumulated years of research and development investments, extensive field testing programs, and operational refinement based on actual counterintelligence case experience. Russian intelligence analytical summaries reproduce substantial portions of internal FBI technical briefings with near-verbatim accuracy. The technical data precision level suggests direct, unauthorized access to operational equipment manuals and detailed system specifications rather than reconstructed reporting or general technical knowledge. This compromise level forces subsequent comprehensive restructuring of multiple surveillance programs following breach confirmation. Documents later indicated specific compromises include detailed technical characteristics of audio surveillance devices deployed in Soviet diplomatic facilities, established methodologies for intercepting encrypted communications, and standardized procedures for conducting covert searches of suspected intelligence officer residences and operational vehicles. FBI technical surveillance capabilities during this era represent substantial multi-year investments in classified research programs, specialized equipment development, and operational deployment across counterintelligence field operations. Compromising these technical capabilities degrades years of accumulated operational advantage. Soviet intelligence officers modify their operational security protocols in direct response to technical intelligence. Hanssen provides regarding FBI surveillance capabilities. FBI counterintelligence operational effectiveness against Soviet intelligence targets declines measurably throughout this period. Internal FBI operational assessment reports from the late 1980s document increasing operational difficulty collecting actionable intelligence on priority Soviet counterintelligence targets. Surveillance operations previously yielding valuable intelligence begin producing substantially diminishing operational returns. Assessments concluded that compromised information describing encryption algorithms protecting FBI operational communications, cryptographic key management procedures, and identified technical system limitations allowed Soviet signals intelligence units to focus collection resources on potentially exploitable system vulnerabilities. While initial compromise does not immediately break operational encryption systems, it provides strategic direction for future cryptanalytic exploitation research efforts. Soviet signals intelligence analysts understand which communication systems warrant sustained cryptanalytic investment versus which systems demonstrate sufficient cryptographic strength, making exploitation attempts impractical. Intelligence also reveals which specific communications channels receive active monitoring versus which channels are considered operationally secure by FBI counterintelligence personnel. Compromise damage extends significantly to international liaison relationships. The FBI shares advanced technical surveillance capabilities with allied intelligence services as components of cooperative counterintelligence programs. Hanssen's technical capability compromise potentially exposes Allied service operations utilizing shared American technical systems. Following eventual breach discovery, FBI leadership must formally notify partner intelligence agencies that shared technical capabilities may have been compromised, substantially damaging institutional trust relationships and requiring expensive multinational remediation coordination efforts. Archived liaison relationship reviews documented significant strain requiring multiple years of sustained effort to rebuild institutional confidence. 1991 through 1994, post-Ames damage assessment period. The CIA headquarters parking facility fills with federal government sedans as interagency investigators arrive for coordination sessions. CIA and FBI concentrate investigative resources on understanding the Aldrich-Ames penetration while shifting organizational focus away from potential additional unknown insider compromises. Ames is arrested in February 1994 following extensive investigation revealing his espionage activities benefiting Soviet and subsequently Russian intelligence services. Investigation findings identify Ames as responsible for compromising dozens of United States intelligence operations and directly causing the execution of at least 10 recruited sources operating inside the Soviet Union. Institutional response includes substantially increased access audit requirements, enhanced financial activity monitoring protocols, and stricter information compartmentalization enforcement. Multiple unexplained database system queries trace back to terminal credentials assigned to Hanssen during this intensive post-Ames security review period. Anomaly patterns emerge clearly in retrospective analysis but were attributed to clerical errors or system glitches when originally documented. The dominant institutional assumption maintains the Ames case represents the primary remaining Cold War-era intelligence penetration, and his arrest has effectively resolved the most serious insider threat facing the intelligence community. Intelligence agencies implement new security measures specifically designed preventing another Ames pattern breach, including more frequent polygraph examination schedules, automated financial transaction monitoring systems, and substantially enhanced oversight for personnel with human intelligence reporting access. Implemented measures are specifically calibrated to detect individuals exhibiting behavioral and financial patterns matching AIM's characteristics: sudden unexplained wealth accumulation, suspicious foreign contact patterns, lifestyle substantially exceeding salary levels, and anomalous foreign travel. However, these AIMS-derived security measures prove insufficient for detecting Hanssen's ongoing activities. The intensive AIMS investigation focuses primarily on CIA personnel because most compromised intelligence operations were CIA-managed cases. The FBI conducts parallel reviews of its personnel but dedicates substantially less investigative intensity and fewer resources to internal security reviews. Hanssen's personal financial profile does not match the distinctive AIMS pattern. He makes no large unexplained bank deposits, purchases no expensive luxury assets, and maintains no dramatic lifestyle changes, triggering automated financial monitoring alerts. His international travel remains limited and entirely consistent with normal personal vacation patterns. He maintains appropriate professional colleague relationships and exhibits no obvious behavioral warning indicators prompting security concern under newly implemented AIMS-derived threat indicators. During this heightened post-AIMS security period, Hanssen temporarily suspends all active espionage operations. The substantially increased security environment following AIMS's high-profile arrest meaningfully increases operational detection risk. He conducts no dead-drop operations and maintains no communications with Russian intelligence handlers throughout an extended operational pause. This complete activity cessation removes him from suspect pools examined during intensive post-AIMS damage assessment investigations. Investigators searching for personnel potentially compromising operations similar to AIMS focus on individuals demonstrating access during relevant compromised timeframes combined with exhibiting suspicious financial or behavioral security indicators. Hanssen exhibits neither characteristic pattern. His operationally cautious temporary espionage cessation inadvertently protects him from detection during the most intensive internal security review in American intelligence community history. Institutional focus on successfully resolving the AIMS case creates organizational false confidence that the insider penetration problem has been comprehensively addressed. Later internal security review memoranda documented no cross-agency systematic comparison of personnel access patterns was conducted during this critical investigative period. 1995 through 1999. Washington, D.C. FBI headquarters office windows overlook Pennsylvania Avenue as the intelligence community implements substantial organizational adaptations to post-Cold War threat priorities. Despite the Soviet Union's collapse in December 1991, Russian Federation intelligence services maintain operational contact protocols with Hanssen. The transition from Soviet to Russian Federation intelligence organizational structures does not interrupt the established operational relationship. Intelligence collection priorities shift somewhat. Russian intelligence demonstrates increased focus on economic intelligence targets, NATO eastward expansion monitoring, and United States foreign policy toward former Soviet space, but fundamental operational value of maintaining a highly placed source inside FBI counterintelligence remains strategically unchanged. Compromised materials during this period include classified updates to nuclear infrastructure modernization programs and technical surveillance capability enhancement plans. The FBI and broader United States intelligence community actively modernize technical collection capabilities addressing emerging post-Cold War security threats, including international terrorism. weapons proliferation networks, cyber espionage operations, and transnational organized criminal enterprises. Materials reviewed after 2001 indicate Hanssen provides Russian intelligence services insight into these comprehensive modernization initiatives. Documents later indicated specific compromises include classified information describing newly deployed encryption technologies, planned upgrades to secure communications systems, and FBI developing capabilities for computer network exploitation operations addressing emerging cyber threats. The prevailing internal assumption within United States intelligence community leadership maintains that significant Cold War-era insider penetration threats effectively ended with Soviet collapse and successful Ames case resolution. A recovered Russian intelligence file explicitly states the source within the American Security Service remains reliable and productive. Continued classified information transfers throughout this post-Cold War period demonstrate that institutional security reforms implemented following the Ames case neither identified nor prevented Hanssen's ongoing espionage activities. Russian intelligence service assessments recovered through later source reporting confirm that Hanssen's maintained organizational position and sustained broad access make him one of their highest-value intelligence assets throughout the 1990s, despite organizational budget constraints and personnel disruptions affecting Russian services during this transitional period. Hanssen resumes active espionage operations in 1999 following an approximately 5-year operational pause. He re-establishes communication contact with Russian intelligence handlers through pre-arranged signal protocols and resumes conducting dead-drop material transfers. Operational security procedures employed remain substantially similar to methods used during Cold War operations, including dead drops at locations throughout the Washington metropolitan area, encrypted communication methods, and cash compensation payments delivered through separate secure locations. Operational resumption occurs during a period of relative organizational stability within FBI structure, with substantially reduced internal security threat focus compared to the immediate post-Ames intensive security review period. Late 1990s strategic geopolitical environment provides important context for understanding Russian intelligence operational priorities. NATO alliance expands eastward, incorporating former Warsaw Pact member states Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic in March 1999. The United States conducts military intervention operations in the Balkans during the Kosovo conflict. Russia experiences severe economic crisis and significant political instability during final years of President Boris Yeltsin's administration. Materials Hanssen provides during this period include classified assessments of Russian intelligence operations active in the United States, FBI investigative priorities regarding Russian intelligence targets, and technical specifications of emerging surveillance capabilities under development. Archived security reviews documented that implemented monitoring systems were not configured to detect resumed espionage activity by individuals who had completely ceased operations during the intensive post-Ames security review period, 1999 through 2000. FBI Headquarters Specialized Investigative Initiative. Secure conference facilities host small, highly compartmented investigative teams operating under restricted access protocols. United States intelligence services acquire a detailed Russian intelligence dossier describing an American intelligence community insider whose documented operational profile matches specific FBI personnel access pattern characteristics. The classified document is purchased from a Russian intelligence source through intermediary contacts. The financial transaction involves extensive authentication verification procedures ensuring material genuineness rather than sophisticated disinformation. The obtained file contains substantial operational detail, including distinctive communication phrasing patterns, specific dead-drop geographic locations, and summarized intelligence information provided across multiple operational years spanning Cold War through late 1990s periods. The acquired material does not include the compromised source's actual identity, but contains sufficient operational and technical detail to narrow potential suspect populations significantly. Internal FBI audit reviews simultaneously identify irregular computer database activity linked to credentials assigned to Hanssen. Automated monitoring systems implemented following the Ames case detect database query patterns not corresponding to open authorized investigative cases. Detected queries span multiple security classification levels and special access program compartments. When systematically cross-referenced against the operational profile detailed in the acquired Russian dossier, correlation patterns become analytically clear. Hanssen's documented access history, his specific organizational assignments during key operational time frames, and the particular classification compartments he accessed systematically align with intelligence activities described in the Russian intelligence file. Combined analytical data points indicate only one FBI employee fits the complete documented breach pattern when all evidentiary factors are considered collectively. The strong correlation between the Russian intelligence dossier, content, and internal database access anomalies prompts creation of a dedicated, highly compartmented mole hunt investigative team in late 1999. The specialized team operates with minimal personnel, extreme operational compartmentation, and reports directly to FBI senior executive leadership outside normal organizational reporting channels, preventing any potential operational compromise. Surveillance operation authorization is granted following extensive legal review and operational security assessment by FBI General Counsel and executive leadership. The strategic decision is made to conduct sustained surveillance monitoring Hanssen's activities rather than immediate confrontation, allowing comprehensive investigation development, understanding his complete operational methods, while ensuring no intelligence regarding investigative awareness is inadvertently revealed. The investigative team conducts systematic review of decades of archived security files, searching for additional indicators potentially missed in earlier routine security reviews. They identify multiple access anomalies documented as far back as the early 1980s, including document retrievals unconnected to assigned investigative cases, database searches for information outside Hanssen's documented operational responsibilities, and temporal correlations between his specific file access and subsequently identified compromises of United States intelligence operations. Each individual anomaly, when examined in isolation during earlier security reviews, appeared relatively minor or could be explained through innocent administrative errors. When viewed collectively and analyzed chronologically, they form a clear systematic pattern of unauthorized intelligence collection activity spanning more than 2 decades of continuous operations. Financial background investigations reveal modest, unexplained irregularities, but nothing approaching the distinctive financial profile exhibited by Aldrich Ames. Hanssen maintained hidden cash reserves and made some purchases difficult to explain, based solely on government salary, but generally maintained lifestyle entirely consistent with standard FBI compensation levels. The absence of obvious dramatic financial indicators explains why earlier routine security reviews applying Ames-derived detection criteria did not flag him as warranting enhanced security scrutiny. Documents later indicated this analytical realization forces comprehensive re-evaluation of intelligence community assumptions and behavioral indicators traditionally used for identifying insider threat risks. 2000. Northern Virginia and Maryland jurisdictions. Unmarked surveillance vehicles systematically rotate parking positions throughout shopping center lots and residential neighborhood streets. Hanssen performs systematic travel route loops, unexpected direction changes, and precisely timed stops, all behaviors meticulously documented in FBI surveillance operational logs. These observed patterns demonstrate consistency with professional counter-surveillance detection techniques taught throughout intelligence community training programs. Systematic data comparisons reveal substantial alignment with historic Russian intelligence extraction protocols documented in defector debriefing reports and archived case files. FBI surveillance teams observe Hanssen driving deliberately circuitous routes between his residence and various destination locations, conducting unexpected stops, executing sudden direction reversals, and selecting parking positions offering optimal visibility for detecting potential surveillance vehicle presence. His observed movement patterns closely mirror operational behaviors, last documented in late Cold War era Soviet intelligence officer activities. The systematic precision of his selected routes demonstrates professional operational training and sophisticated awareness of surveillance detection methodologies rather than coincidental or innocent travel behavior. FBI surveillance personnel document each significant deviation from normal expected travel patterns in detailed operational logs. On multiple documented occasions, Hanssen drives to geographic areas immediately adjacent to previously identified historic dead-drop locations, but does not exit his vehicle or conduct any observable operational activity. These apparent reconnaissance operations appear designed to assess whether historic locations remain operationally secure and whether any surveillance presence exists in surrounding areas. He systematically conducts these assessment operations at varying times throughout different days and varying days across different weeks, deliberately varying behavioral patterns designed to detect any consistent surveillance monitoring presence. The operational challenge facing FBI surveillance teams proves exceptionally significant. Hanssen is a professionally trained, experienced counterintelligence officer thoroughly understanding standard surveillance operational conduct. He possesses detailed knowledge regarding indicators for detecting physical and technical surveillance, methodologies for assessing whether he is being actively monitored, and procedures for defeating standard surveillance techniques. FBI surveillance teams must maintain continuous operational coverage while remaining completely undetected, requiring extensive personnel resources and sophisticated technical capabilities. Multiple surveillance vehicles are systematically rotated throughout each operational shift. Fixed static observation posts are established along probable transit routes, and technical surveillance augments physical observation capabilities. Aircraft surveillance support provides elevated overwatch observation capabilities, enabling surveillance maintenance even when Hanssen employs aggressive counter-surveillance driving techniques, defeating ground-based vehicle surveillance alone. During this sustained surveillance period, FBI investigative teams also monitor Hanssen's electronic communications and computer system activities through authorized technical surveillance. Monitoring reveals he continues accessing classified materials substantially beyond his immediate documented operational requirements. Database query patterns continue spanning multiple security classification compartments without apparent legitimate connection to his officially assigned work responsibilities. The systematic access pattern strongly suggests ongoing active intelligence collection operations rather than historical ceased activity. Specific documented queries relate to active ongoing counterintelligence investigations, current technical surveillance capabilities, and future operational planning documents. Classified information categories demonstrating immediate value to Russian intelligence services while having no legitimate connection to Hanssen's assigned operational duties. The sustained surveillance operation extends across several months throughout late 2000 and early 2001. The operational objective focuses on directly observing Hanssen conducting actual espionage activity, executing a dead-drop material transfer, conducting a clandestine meeting with intelligence handlers, or otherwise engaging in directly verifiable intelligence activity meeting rigorous legal evidentiary standards for criminal prosecution. All evidence gathered during sustained surveillance operations must satisfy legal sufficiency requirements supporting criminal prosecution beyond reasonable doubt standards. Intercepted Russian intelligence communications provide additional independent confirmation that active operational contact with the source remains ongoing. Signals intelligence collection detects encrypted communications correlating temporally with Hanssen's observed movement activities. This systematic convergence of multiple independent evidence streams, the acquired Russian dossier, internal database access anomalies, direct surveillance observations, and correlated signals intelligence, creates overwhelming analytical confirmation of ongoing active espionage operations. February 18, 2001. Vienna, Virginia. FBI surveillance personnel establish concealed observation positions adjacent to the wooden footbridge structure as evening darkness descends across the park. A dead-drop package is placed beneath the footbridge structure, directly observed by positioned FBI surveillance teams equipped with night vision optical equipment and video recording systems. Signals intelligence analysis confirms substantial operational parallels between Hanssen's precise operational timing and Russian intelligence-coded message references intercepted earlier that same day by National Security Agency collection systems. The documented coordination between physical dead-drop placement timing and intercepted electronic communications provides decisive confirmation of active ongoing espionage operations rather than dormant historical activity. Surveillance personnel observe Hanssen arriving at Foxstone Park at approximately 8:45 in the evening. He exits his vehicle, proceeds on foot toward the footbridge location, carrying a sealed garbage bag, carefully places the sealed bag beneath the bridge railing structure in a location consistent with established dead-drop protocols, then returns directly to his parked vehicle. The complete observed operation requires less than 5 minutes from vehicle exit to return. Hanssen is placed under arrest while returning to his parked vehicle following dead-drop placement completion. The arrest is executed without incident at approximately 9:15 in the evening as he walks across the parking area. FBI special agents approach his vehicle location, clearly identify themselves as federal law enforcement, and take him into immediate custody without resistance. Hanssen offers no resistance and makes no attempt to flee or destroy potential evidence. He is formally advised of his constitutional rights under Miranda requirements, transported directly to FBI headquarters facilities, and placed under formal detention pending criminal charge filing. The arrest team comprises specially briefed agents from the Mole Hunt Investigative Unit and additional personnel from FBI Washington Field Office. The operation is conducted with operational precision, ensuring complete evidence preservation according to legal evidentiary standards and proper legal procedure adherence at every operational stage. Forensic examination teams immediately secure his Palm Pilot electronic organizer, computer storage disks, and handwritten materials discovered in his vehicle and on his person. The sealed garbage bag placed beneath the footbridge is recovered prior to any potential Russian intelligence retrieval and contains classified FBI operational documents, computer-generated printouts containing sensitive operational information, and handwritten analytical notes summarizing intelligence intended for Russian handler delivery. All materials are photographed in original discovered positions, then systematically collected, thoroughly catalogued, and properly secured as criminal evidence, following strict chain of custody legal procedures. A judicially authorized search warrant is executed at Hanssen's residential address in Vienna, Virginia, yielding substantial additional classified materials, encryption devices, cash currency hidden in multiple residential locations, and documentary records of his communications with Russian intelligence services spanning multiple operational years. Residential search operations reveal concealed storage locations throughout the residence, encrypted digital storage media, and financial records directly related to his espionage activities. Forensic technical specialists immediately begin comprehensive analysis of all recovered materials. The operational significance of Hanssen's arrest extends substantially beyond the immediate criminal case prosecution. Comprehensive damage assessment operations are activated immediately upon arrest confirmation. Counterintelligence personnel begin systematic review of every intelligence operation, recruited human source, and technical collection program Hanssen accessed throughout his entire career spanning 1979 through 2001. Formal notification procedures are immediately initiated for all affected intelligence community agencies and allied foreign intelligence services potentially compromised through shared intelligence cooperation. Investigation scope expands rapidly as preliminary examination of recovered materials reveals the substantial magnitude of the intelligence breach. Russian intelligence services realize immediately that Hanssen has been arrested based on signals, intelligence monitoring, and diplomatic reporting channels. Surveillance monitoring of Russian diplomatic facilities throughout the United States detects dramatically increased communications traffic volumes and unusual personnel movement patterns suggesting emergency response protocols. Russian intelligence officers potentially involved in handling Hanssen operations or possessing operational knowledge prepare for potential rapid departure from the United States prior to possible diplomatic expulsion. Documents later indicated Russian intelligence leadership immediately assumes all intelligence information provided by Hanssen across more than 2 decades may now be compromised, requiring comprehensive operational security reassessment. FBI Laboratory, Quantico. Specialized computer workstations and forensic evidence processing equipment fill dedicated examination facilities where technical specialists work continuous shifts analyzing recovered materials. Comprehensive forensic analysis of Hanssen's electronic devices reveals documented decades of systematic unauthorized classified information transfers. Recovered digital storage logs, encrypted computer files, and handwritten operational notes document sustained long-term operational patterns spanning from initial 1979 contact through final 2001 arrest. Forensic examination confirms unauthorized access to classified materials across multiple security classification levels and numerous operational program categories, including human intelligence operations, signals intelligence programs, and restricted special access programs. Computer forensic technical specialists successfully recover previously deleted digital files using specialized recovery software. Decrypt password-protected storage media through cryptanalytic techniques and systematically reconstruct Hanssen's activities across multiple operational years through meticulous technical analysis. Formal damage assessment, investigative teams begin systematic measurement of total intelligence loss scope across all affected operational categories. Multiple operational security sectors require immediate comprehensive restructuring due to compromised technical systems whose continued unchanged operation represents ongoing exploitable security vulnerabilities. Comprehensive investigation analysis reveals Hanssen compromised more than 6,000 pages of classified documentary materials throughout his operational career. Compromised documents span human intelligence source operations, technical surveillance collection programs, nuclear weapons command and control systems, and continuity of government emergency protocols across multiple presidential administrations. At least 3 recruited United States intelligence assets operating inside the Soviet Union were executed following their exposure through Hanssen's compromises. Additional recruited sources were compromised but successfully escaped execution, either through emergency relocation by United States intelligence services or because Soviet authorities deliberately chose leaving them operational, avoiding revealing their compromised knowledge. Technical surveillance collection programs, strategic nuclear command protocols, and continuity of government emergency plans all require comprehensive security reassessment reviews. FBI leadership establishes specialized damage assessment working groups for each major compromised information category. These specialized groups systematically review every intelligence operation, technical collection system, and emergency governance plan Hanssen accessed during his career. Assessment teams determine specifically what classified information was compromised, systematically assess operational impact on current national security capabilities, and develop detailed recommendations for implementing necessary remediation measures. The comprehensive assessment process requires multiple months and involves specialized personnel from across the entire intelligence community, including analytical representatives from 16 different federal agencies. Technical specialists from CIA, NSA, Department of Defense, Department of Energy, and numerous other federal agencies participate in collaborative assessment efforts. Comprehensive assessment confirms significant compromises across multiple critical national security areas. Materials reviewed after 2001 indicate nuclear command and control systems require complete security review, determining whether Soviet and Russian intelligence services gained operationally exploitable knowledge regarding United States strategic nuclear capabilities. Strategic early warning detection systems require vulnerability assessment regarding potential exposed weaknesses. Continuity of government emergency protocols require comprehensive revision accounting for compromise of protected facility locations, designated official succession protocols, and secure emergency communications system specifications. Technical surveillance collection capabilities require systematic evaluation, determining which operational systems retain effectiveness versus which systems require complete replacement or substantial capability upgrades, countering Russian knowledge of their technical capabilities and operational limitations. Human intelligence operations suffer particularly severe effects across multiple operational categories. Hanssen compromised classified information describing FBI double-agent operations where recruited individuals simultaneously worked for both United States and Soviet intelligence services. Active FBI recruitment operations targeting foreign intelligence officers for potential recruitment, and specific identities of individuals providing cooperative intelligence to United States services inside the Soviet Union and later Russian Federation. Operational damage extends substantially beyond individuals directly identified in materials he transferred. Russian intelligence services utilized provided information, conducting comprehensive counterintelligence investigations, exposing additional intelligence sources through indirect operational indicators and pattern analysis. Some exposed sources were executed for espionage, others received lengthy imprisonment sentences, while others disappeared without official explanation. Allied foreign intelligence services receive formal breach notifications through established diplomatic and intelligence liaison channels. International liaison relationships experience significant strain as partner intelligence agencies assess whether their own operations and personnel may have been exposed through shared intelligence cooperation provided to FBI. Comprehensive assessments concluded the complete extent of human intelligence losses may never be fully determined with certainty. 2001 through 2005. FBI Headquarters and Department of Justice Oversight Review Committees. Secure conference facilities host multiple investigative review panels and Congressional Oversight Committee sessions examining systemic security failures spanning 2 operational decades. Hanssen formally pleads guilty to 15 separate counts of espionage charges in July 2001, successfully avoiding potential death penalty sentencing through negotiated plea agreement with federal prosecutors. The binding plea agreement requires his complete cooperation with ongoing damage assessment, investigative efforts, and comprehensive debriefing sessions conducted by intelligence community personnel seeking complete understanding of his operational activities. He receives sentencing to life imprisonment without any possibility of parole at the high-security United States Penitentiary Facility in Florence, Colorado. Official damage assessment reports rank this intelligence breach among the most severe compromises in American counterintelligence operational history. FBI leadership establishes the Office of Integrity and Compliance in direct organizational response to systemic vulnerabilities the Hanssen case exposed. This newly created office receives organizational responsibility for internal security oversight, personnel security policy development, and comprehensive security program oversight across all FBI operational divisions. Newly implemented security protocols include substantially enhanced digital audit systems, continuous automated personnel activity monitoring programs, and comprehensive automated access log analysis utilizing pattern detection algorithms. Every individual access to classified information systems receives automated logging, systematic algorithmic analysis, and comparison against documented operational need and officially assigned work responsibilities. Detected anomalies automatically trigger immediate security personnel review and, when warranted by preliminary analysis, initiate full counterintelligence investigations. Personnel security vetting standards and internal threat risk assessment models receive comprehensive updates specifically addressing long-term insider threat scenarios rather than focusing exclusively on initial clearance processing. The traditional security approach, intensive background screening at initial employment, followed by periodic reinvestigation every 5 or 10 years, receives supplementation with continuous evaluation, monitoring programs, tracking relevant security behaviors throughout entire careers. Financial activity monitoring systems become substantially more sophisticated, utilizing advanced automated algorithms, flagging unusual financial transactions or unexplained wealth accumulation patterns. Behavioral security indicators receive formal incorporation into security monitoring programs with comprehensive training provided to supervisory personnel on recognizing potential warning indicators of insider threats. Polygraph examination policies receive significant revision. Previously, most FBI personnel received polygraph examinations only during initial employment clearance processing. Revised policy requires periodic polygraph examinations throughout entire careers, with substantially increased examination frequency for personnel occupying the most sensitive organizational positions. Multiple systemic vulnerabilities receive formal identification only following Hanssen's arrest through comprehensive retrospective security reviews. The highly decentralized organizational nature of counterintelligence operations, The absence of comprehensive unified access auditing systems and the prevailing institutional assumption that initially cleared personnel posed minimal ongoing security risk all substantially contributed to the failure detecting his activities, despite multiple documented warning indicators. Implemented organizational reforms systematically address these identified vulnerabilities through centralized security oversight under the newly established Office of Integrity and Compliance, substantially enhanced automated audit capabilities utilizing modern information technology systems, and fundamental organizational culture shift toward recognizing that insider threats require sustained, continuous vigilance rather than single-point vetting approaches. Systemic improvements in intelligence community information sharing also receive substantial impetus from lessons derived from the Hanssen case. The documented failure systematically connecting security indicators existing across different agencies and separate database systems substantially contributed to delays identifying Hanssen when relevant information existed in multiple locations but was never properly correlated. Newly implemented protocols facilitate enhanced cross-agency coordination on insider threat investigations through established joint working groups. Intelligence community agencies establish formal joint working groups specifically focused on counterintelligence operations and insider threat detection with designated representatives from all major intelligence agencies. Classified information that previously remained strictly compartmented within individual agencies for security protection reasons now receives more liberal sharing when specific security concerns arise regarding particular individuals. Documents later indicated these implemented structural changes represent fundamental shift in intelligence community approaches toward internal security challenges. 2001 through 2023. United States Intelligence Community. Secure operational facilities throughout the Washington metropolitan area systematically implement substantially upgraded security monitoring protocols and enhanced automated surveillance systems. Hanssen's sustained espionage activities force comprehensive restructuring of technical intelligence collection systems. Substantial doctrinal adjustments to counterintelligence operational procedures, and enhanced operational compartmentalization specifically designed, limiting potential damage from future insider penetrations. The comprehensive case analysis demonstrates that highly decentralized security oversight structures during and following the Cold War period created exploitable systemic vulnerabilities, enabling long-term insider threats operating across multiple decades. Implemented comprehensive reforms extend substantially beyond FBI organizational boundaries, affecting every agency throughout the intelligence community, including military service intelligence organizations. Russian intelligence archival records list Hanssen under a signed cryptonym Ramon, documented as operationally active for more than 22 continuous years, from initial contact through final arrest. The unprecedented operational duration of his espionage activities, spanning the Cold War confrontation period, the Soviet Union's dissolution, and the subsequent post-Soviet geopolitical era, represents historically unprecedented source access continuity. His documented compromise of nuclear command and control infrastructure, continuity of government emergency protocols, and human intelligence source operations required substantial security adjustments across multiple sectors of United States national security architecture. Declassified Russian intelligence service assessments released through various sources after 2010 confirm Russian services considered Hanssen among their most operationally valuable intelligence sources in modern Russian intelligence operational history. The total financial cost of implementing comprehensive remediation measures proves substantial, extending across multiple years of sustained implementation efforts. Technical surveillance collection systems compromised through Hanssen's intelligence transfers require complete replacement or substantial capability upgrades. Classified emergency facility locations identified in compromised continuity of government plans require physical relocation or extensive security hardening against identified known vulnerabilities. Secure communication systems receive comprehensive upgrades throughout government, implementing new cryptographic encryption methods resistant to exploitation using compromised technical knowledge. Comprehensive assessments concluded total remediation costs reach multiple billions of dollars when all affected technical systems receive necessary consideration. Beyond direct financial expenditures, exist substantial opportunity costs representing national security resources diverted from other strategic priorities, specifically addressing vulnerabilities this breach created. The human cost of Hanssen's espionage proves substantially more difficult quantifying, but remains no less strategically significant. At least 3 recruited intelligence sources were executed specifically because classified information Hanssen provided to Soviet and Russian intelligence services exposed their cooperation. Additional compromised sources required emergency relocation into protective status or complete identity changes. Intelligence officers who invested years developing successful operations and recruiting valuable sources witnessed their professional work comprehensively destroyed through circumstances completely beyond their operational control. The sustained psychological impact on FBI personnel and broader intelligence community proves profound and exceptionally long-lasting. Personnel morale within counterintelligence operational divisions suffers substantially as professional staff confront the operational reality that a trusted senior colleague caused catastrophic damage to national security. The Hanssen case becomes a central analytical study throughout counterintelligence professional education programs. Intelligence agencies, federal law enforcement organizations, and academic research institutions systematically analyze case details, extracting operational lessons regarding insider threats, organizational security culture factors, and systemic vulnerabilities, enabling sustained, undetected compromise. Comprehensive case analysis directly informs development of new security frameworks and organizational risk management approaches implemented across government agencies and private sector organizations handling classified national security information. Academic institutions offer specialized graduate courses systematically examining the Hanssen case as detailed study in organizational failure modes. Professional intelligence conferences regularly feature analytical panel discussions examining different operational, legal, and psychological aspects of the case. In 2023, only limited portions of complete Hanssen case investigative files remain classified, protecting intelligence sources and collection methods still operationally employed. Systematically declassified materials continue providing valuable analytical insight into detailed operational specifics of his espionage activities and the comprehensive institutional failures enabling sustained undetected operations. The case maintains continued operational relevance as intelligence agencies confront evolving insider threat challenges in contemporary eras of networked digital information systems, substantially increased personnel access to classified materials through interconnected systems, and continuously evolving espionage operational techniques. The fundamental operational lesson endures across changing technological environments. Sustained continuous vigilance, robust multi-layered oversight systems, and organizational security cultures recognizing insider threats as persistent ongoing dangers prove essential protecting national security interests. If you value factual Cold War history, consider supporting Cold War Files.